Most doctors who want to train in Japan or South Korea are doing it wrong. And it usually costs them a year. I spent a month observing robotic surgery in Japan, and then I presented my research once again in a conference in Sapporo in Hokkaido, which is in northern Japan, and once in Seoul in South Korea. So I've seen how this works from the inside, and I've seen a lot of smart people waste their time chasing the wrong things. This is the honest version, how it actually works, what nobody tells you. Who am I to say this? Quick context so you know I'm not making this up. I'm a surgical gastroenterologist. I did an observership in Japan. I presented at conferences in Japan and Korea. And somewhere along the way, I got weirdly familiar with the geography of how foreign doctors actually get into these hospitals. That's it. That's the whole resume. And now on to the useful part. The thing that nobody explains, licensure and the exceptions. Here's the thing that trips everyone up. When most people imagine training in Japan, they usually imagine scrubbing in, hands-on, or some kind of training like that. Here's the real truth. Fellowship needs a Japanese or Korean license, and the exams to which are also in Korean or Japanese, including all the medical terms. So it's a really tough exam to crack. For most international doctors, that door is closed. So people hear that, get discouraged, and then give up. That's the mistake. Because that's not the whole map. What's actually open to you is observerships, and also a thing called advanced clinical training. Observerships are far more valuable than they sound. I personally wanted to go to Japan for the longest time, and I got to do observership, that is learn about some new surgeries or a different way of doing surgeries or running a hospital, and I got to experience Japan, which was my lifelong dream. But here's the part that nobody knows about. I didn't either. Japan is something called advanced training, a permitted pathway open to a few where you can do supervised hands-on work. There are specific hospitals which have certain programs that let you do more than just watch. They exist, they are not advertised, and you have to know where to look for them. So the real situation isn't you can't train in Japan. It's there, it's more available than you think if you know which door to knock on. The real map, the three things that decide if it's worth it. Say you have found a program. How do you know if it is worth your time and money? Three questions in order. One is, will they even reply? Some of them answer in 3 days, some of them never do. You will email into a void for 2 months and hear nothing. From the outside, you can't tell which is which. And that single unknown wastes more time than anything else in this whole process. 2. What will you actually do there? This is the big one. Observership can mean you're either standing in the back of the room watching a screen, or it can mean you're scrubbed in and watching the surgery from that point of view. Those are two completely different experiences, and the website never tells you which one you're going to get. People fly across the world expecting one and get the other. 3. How far ahead you have to apply. Some programs want you 6 months out. You miss the door and the door's already shut for that year, no matter how good your CV is. Reply, access, timing. Get those three things right, and the rest is just logistics. The black holes. Now, here's things that I would advise you not to do. So here's the pattern. A program in an expensive city like Tokyo, let's say, they charge you a serious fee. It is an expensive city to live in, and when you get there, you don't really do much. High cost, big name, low exposure. You spend a fortune to just stand in a corner. And the frustrating thing is you genuinely cannot tell these apart from the outside. The website looks the same. The brochure looks the same. The difference only shows when you're there and broke and disappointed. And that's the part I can help with, honestly, because I've spent so much time mapping this that I know which places are worth it and which aren't, and when your money actually buys you something. But I want to be fair, it's not all landmines. Staying anywhere in Japan is a great experience. The country rewards you in big, bountiful ways, even if your program is mediocre. So the goal isn't just to be scared, it's just not to overpay for standing in a corner where you're not going to be happy. So that's the honest map, the license wall, the hands-on route that most people miss, the three questions, and the black hole. If you had to pick one, would you pick Japan or Korea? Please let me know in the comments. And also why. I genuinely want to see the split. Personally, I was a very Japan person until I went to Korea, and Korea is absolutely fantastic as well. And if you're not just curious and you genuinely want to do this and you want a plan built around your profile, your specialty, timeline, your budget, there's a form linked to the description. Fill that out, and that's the best way to reach me. That's where I do the real personalized work. So just to sum it up, comments for the conversation and forms for the serious stuff. Either way, go. It's definitely worth doing. It's just one of the best experiences of my life. And if you enjoyed this video, then like, share and subscribe. And also tell me what are the things you are facing, what difficulties you are facing in your application. And also otherwise, I would like to know. Okay, see you next time. Bye.